This is FYI on your TV, brought to you by Hometown News. I'm Kathy Botham. I have got Joanne Mavis here. It's been a long time.
It has been 8 years.
8 years, that's right too. And Lynn Clifford Ward, this is your first time here.
It is.
You're both with the Kemptville District Hospital Foundation. Joanne, you are the executive director.
Correct.
And Lynn, you are the communications specialist. You've only been doing this for a few months with the foundation.
With the foundation,
You've been with the hospital for a while.
I have been.
All right.
Yeah, over 6 years with the hospital.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. And you've been doing the executive directors for 8 years.
Correct.
Okay, we've got a big campaign going on right now, though.
We sure do.
Let's talk about that.
Yes, let's.
Okay, it is, we're trying to get a CAT scanner.
Yes, we are. So we don't have a CT scanner, and that's a huge issue in the community. As most people know, if they come to the ER and they need a CAT scan, we have to transfer the patient to another hospital. Most of the time it's down in Ottawa. So that is a huge problem for not only the patient and their family, but the physicians. It's just, it's a grueling 8-hour wait down in Ottawa for a CT scan that should be available in the hospital. So we're at the point now where we're facing issues with recruiting new physicians because they've trained on a CT scan. So they're like, I don't want to come to your place because really this is how I learned medicine.
It's how they make a diagnosis.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's just, and the entire community, you know, they come to our hospital and they love the care and they say, it's just too bad that I had to go all the way down to Ottawa and then make my way back to Kemptville. Because once you're there, once the ambulance takes you there, they leave you there. So now you have to get back on your own. A lot of times at 2 o'clock in the morning because you're waiting 8 hours for a CT scan. It's just, it's a game changer.
And it really is, it's a domino effect too. Because sometimes, you know, people go to the emergency and they say they had to wait so long.
Yes.
Well, sometimes it's because somebody had to be rushed to Ottawa. It took a nurse away. It may have taken a doctor away with them as well too. So now they're
That's right.
short-staffed
Yeah.
in the back of the ER too.
Correct,
So,
and I don't think people realize that
Right.
when they're sitting there, and that's exactly what happens. So if we've lost a doctor and a nurse, that's 6 hours that they're gone. It's very difficult to call in another physician because they're just not readily available. So right now we have an agreement with the Ottawa Hospital who is helping us fill our ER with their emergency physicians. So that's again, everyone knows there's a bit of an issue with physicians and burnout.
Right.
So we're very fortunate to have the Ottawa Hospital helping fill shifts. But again, that just, you know, goes to, if we're losing doctors that we have now and we're filling them in from other hospitals, it's not going to be a good situation. We
It's not
absolutely
sustainable.
have to have
That's right.
a CT scanner.
That's right, that's right. Now we're hoping to break ground. And when we say break ground in March,
Yes.
do you have to actually build on, or is it building in your facility? Or
So very interesting.
Yep.
What we're doing is off the diagnostic imaging wing that's there now, they're going to put a big door and they're building a module space. So originally they were going to build onto the building, but it will be faster and more efficient to build a modular space. And then if the hospital expands in the next few years, we can move that piece. So it's a really great way to house the CT scanner, but not be wedded to bricks and mortar. So it can move if we need it to move.
Okay, okay. Now, you've had some fundraising, and it's amazing. We talked before we started taping, too, that people have really picked up and are excited about having a CT scanner in the hospital. So people are coming forward already. But let's talk about, so many people have seen this blue Camaro driving around Kemptville, and we've got a winner, too.
Oh my
as
gosh,
well.
that was so much fun. I
great.
pretty much spent my summer driving this car around, and my husband loved it because he was driving it. We went everywhere. So on weekends, we were just everywhere. And people would say they love the color or they hate the color. There was sort of no middle ground there. So we did pick a winner, and it's Todd Dury. And Todd is a local business owner in Kemptville, well known. His family for years had a golf tournament that raised over $200,000 for the hospital.
Wow.
In memory of their mom who had breast cancer. So they're already part of our community. Todd does all our work around our garden. We have a beautiful stone garden.
He's the owner of Outer Creations.
Yes, he is. Outer Creations, yes, thank you. And he built that for us. And so when I saw Todd's name, I was like, I have to call Todd. This is going to be hilarious. So I got on the phone, I said, Todd, you really got to get out here and clean my front garden. It's a disaster. Oh, okay, Joanne, I'll be there Monday. Yeah, okay. And when you come, there's a little blue Camaro. Take it home because you won it. And he's like, no. So he was totally shocked. And then the next day he called me back and said, you really got me on the landscaping thing. Yeah. So he has it now, and it'll be driving around Kemptville forever. It's great.
It's got great memories already,
Yes,
so we'll
it
know
does.
when he starts driving it where
yes.
it came from, for sure.
And to add to that memory, Kathy, is the fact that when we presented it to him, that very day was his birthday.
Yes.
So
Really?
I said, well, you'll not forget this birthday, that's for sure.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Now, there's been fundraisers, like we say too. Your little black dress event.
Yes, that was wonderful. That was put on by the chamber, and it raised $7,000 for us, which
Excellent.
is just phenomenal. It was
Excellent.
sold out. It was a great event. The chamber does that every year. We're so grateful that they donated the proceeds to us this year.
Excellent, excellent. And you know, I had to make so many notes because
I
so
know.
many people want to help out too.
Yes.
You had a Greg Holmes Memorial Golf Tournament as well, raised over $10,000.
That's
yes,
right.
That was wonderful.
Absolutely
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And donated the entire proceeds from that event. And it was wonderful to meet Kathy, who is the widow of the gentleman for whom the tournament's
Greg,
in honor.
yes.
And it was just so fabulous to receive this generous gift. And she said that also came from the appeal letter that we had sent out. And she said, I had thought about it and I put it away, and then I found it again a few months later, and I said, you know, that's exactly what I want to do. That's where this money should go, because it will help the community.
And you know what I'm hearing too is a lot of these fundraisers are organized by people who've had to get the care from the hospital,
Absolutely.
for their family members.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
And she could also empathize the idea of the ride from where we are to Ottawa to get a CAT scan, because her late husband had required that as well for part of his medical treatment. So she said, oh my gosh, I mean, if you could have it closer to home, it's one less problem and issue to deal with. You know, you come into a big hospital, and you know, you're trying to navigate through parking and through a building, and you're already dealing with a lot mentally. So just to come to something like the Kemptville District Hospital, it's a lot more accessible, and we also feel very friendly as well. So
Especially when you're familiar with that area. This is
Yeah.
home. This is home.
Yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. You've got another fundraiser coming up too. The Kemptville Male Choir is holding a fundraiser as well too. That's December 16th, I believe.
that's right, and they're going to have a goodwill collection during the concert, and again, that just came out of the blue, and we're just delighted. So people are being galvanized with the whole idea that this is something that we do need in the community, and that who knows when we might need it.
That's right.
You know, as an individual, as a family member, you know, that this would mean an awful lot to have that right there in our community.
And quite often this time of year too, you know, people are instead of Christmas presents, they make donations, you know, in
Very
their love,
much so.
in their,
Yes.
you know, instead of
Yes.
another something under the tree, let's make a donation. You had a
Sure.
generous donation just yesterday.
My gosh, yes. Yesterday we had this wonderful couple come in and donated $16,000. They were going to do it online. I'm like, no, you've got to
Yes.
come in. This is magnificent. I mean, so they talked about how, again, they use the hospital, and they just felt that this year they were going to consolidate all their giving, because this was just so important to the community. And again, it's not about self-serving. Everyone wants to do it for everybody else. Like,
Right.
we all live here. We all love this place. Let's make sure that it's the best we can do.
Yeah.
So that was wonderful. And we keep getting people coming into my office and just saying this is so important, and making large gifts. We had one individual last month made $100,000 gift.
Wow.
Yeah, that
Wow.
was just...
And it's like
It
you say
speaks
too,
to
a
it.
lot of it isn't self-serving because they've gone through the whole experience of having going into the city and you know, the parking, or 2 o'clock in the morning having fun.
awful.
They've gone through that experience. They don't want
Yes.
somebody else to do that.
That's right.
No.
So-
And so the protocol is, if you're 65 or over and you present at the ER with abdominal or head trauma, you have to have a CT scan. That's just the protocol. So right away, that's a big market.
Right there.
That's a big group of people in Kemptville that are 60 plus, 65 plus. So going into the hospital, you're going to have to be transferred.
Right.
Like that's just a level of stress that you don't need when you're already stressed out about whatever injury or whatever you're, dealing with. So to eliminate that and have a 1-minute gurney ride down the hall
exactly.
as opposed to 10 hours waiting in the auto hospital, well, who's not going to benefit from that?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now you need to raise 2.2 million.
Correct.
And how are
We
you
are
doing?
we are just about at the $1 million mark,
Wow.
and we just started this really in June. So that is incredible. I've worked on many capital campaigns in my career as a fundraiser, and I have never seen something happen so quickly. It just the community took it on itself. I would go around and speak to the need for this. I don't have to do that anymore. Everywhere I go, everybody else is telling me that we need this. So I'm totally convinced that we'll meet that mark. And the journey is just spectacular to see everybody coming together.
So speaking of the journey, how do people make donations if they'd like to make a donation?
Well, they can go on our website and donate online at www.kdhfoundation.ca, or they can call the office. You can call my number, 613-408-0086. That's my direct line, and happy to talk about the project and how you can get involved. We also need volunteers. There's layers of activities that can help us get to where we need to be. You can hold a fundraiser for us.
Right.
You can, one of our communities, Equinel, they do exactly what you were speaking with. Instead of buying presents or for birthdays or Christmas, they donate as a community to the
Wonderful.
CT scanner. So there's lots of ways you can contribute. It doesn't have to be a $100,000 gift, although like those, but there's lots of ways.
Yes, even a few dollars helps.
Every
little
dollar,
bit helps.
every single dollar is counting right now, and it's amazing how it's just working.
So correct me if I'm wrong too, Lynn, you as the communication specialist, if people are thinking of doing a fundraiser or something, do they get a hold of you? Is that,
Certainly,
Okay.
yes, they could do that.
and they do it at the same?
Yes.
Same,
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. We're here to help, and hoping that everybody will join us in this journey.
Absolutely.
And I was just going to say that those kinds of events where people hear about it and then they become ambassadors to talk about this as well, which is what happened with one of the gentlemen from the Equinel Golf League. And when he heard that we had to raise the money, that this piece of equipment was not just provided by the province, but that they had to give us permission, first of all, to have the equipment, he said his blood pressure went up, and he said, I'm just going to have to do something about this. And he approached his men's dinner group, and he said, look, normally we give to 3 groups, 3 charities from our 50-50 draw, but I would like to suggest that we just give to 1 this year. And I think it should be the CT scanner that we need to bring to this community. And he said, looking at this group in the room, he said, we're all going to need it, folks.
Absolutely.
And he said, we may have thought that there already was one at the hospital. Well, they don't have it, and we need to help. And that was just fabulous. So he's been a terrific disciple for us. And also for the women in the area, too. They had a fashion show along with a live auction. And they had a fabulous auctioneer who really galvanized the room. And they realized $20,000 after that evening. A full house, lots of fun with everybody attending, and then this auction. So it was a really big success. So it's the small things to the big things. Everybody's assuming an ownership that they want this, and let's help out.
And people continue to be surprised that everything in the hospital is raised from the foundation.
Yes.
And the money's from the foundation.
Yes.
It's not government dollars or municipality. It is the foundation raising money for every piece of equipment.
Yes,
that goes
that's
into the
correct.
hospital.
And the municipality actually did contribute $900,000 towards the build, and so did the United Counties of Leeds and Grenville.
Wonderful,
So
wonderful.
they took care of the bricks and mortar, because as a foundation we don't do bricks and mortar.
Oh, okay.
So that was key to getting this whole campaign going. And I have to acknowledge Nancy, Mayor Nancy Peckford.
Wonderful lady.
She drove this.
And her team. Yep.
Yeah, they drove this, so they got that secured, so we have a place to put it.
Right.
So it's really a whole community effort for sure.
It is. Don't you love community? Don't
I
you?
love it.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. That's
love
right.
it.
Is there anything you'd like to add before we wrap up?
I'd like to wish you Merry Christmas.
Well, Merry Christmas to
Yes.
you as well. You as well, too. It is that time of year, so if
It
anybody's
is.
thinking of giving this year, they can get a hold of you and make
That
a
would be
donation to
great.
this capital campaign.
And,
That would be lovely.
and I'd just like to add, too, that we also have the tremendous support from the auxiliary at the hospital,
Yes.
too. And they are also helping it towards
Yes.
this end as well. And that kind of presence and energy is fantastic to bring us to that goal post that we need to reach at 2.2 million.
Right,
So,
right. Yeah, it's a big goal, but you guys are making your journey, and you guys are traveling it. You're going to
We're
hit
not
that
going to
goal.
stop until we get there.
That's
That's it.
right.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Don't stop.
yes.
So once again, I've got Joanne Mavis with me and Lynn Clifford Ward, both from the Kemptville District Hospital Foundation. Thanks for joining us, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Kathy.
You.